Anyway, I've been here for 9 years, and for the entire 9 years, I'm really saddened to see that the system has stayed the same. We've had good representation for the employees, but I was always led to believe and told that we're supposed to be representing or taking into consideration the interests of taxpayers. And I think this is a very good agreement for the employees, but I can't tell you how frustrated I am about how the taxpayers have been completely ignored during my 9 years and many of the agreements we've been here. I'm particularly upset over the idea that awards are made and there's no consideration given to the ability to pay. That just continues to confound me. How can you negotiate agreements when you don't even have the money to pay for it? If you take a look at Secretary Barnes' statement, no one is going to disagree with it. We've been downgraded 9 times in 8 years. We have the 3rd worst credit rating of all the states. As of 2015, Connecticut had the highest per capita tax burden of all the states, $4,500. We have an $80 billion unfunded liability that equates to $22,000 per capita, and we've had a migration, an out-migration of residents at least for 5 years. And we're going to continue to have that. And we continue to hear, as we've been doing in the subcommittees, from the commissioners who've been saying our hands are tied in terms of what we can do because of the fixed costs. Fixed costs now, with these agreements and benefits and health care, are well over 35% and climbing. How are they able, or how can we ask them to do their job and fulfill their missions if we don't do anything about the fixed costs? What are we going to do for the residents who are going to be considering more taxes in this session, as we have been for quite a while? Where's the relief for them? How do they benefit from it? The system is not responding to the people who have to pay the bill. They don't have the benefits we have, and yet they're being asked to pay the bill. The people who are being asked to get the increases, they work hard. I have no problem with that. My problem is we make promises, but we have no money set aside to pay for it. So I think that, it's the same old, same old. We'll just sit there, we'll grant everybody the agreements to go along. We don't get people who are going to be stronger advocates for the taxpayers. And we're going to be left with the same situation as we did this year and the last previous 9 years. We're going to have very high fixed costs. We're not going to address the structural changes that need to be done or the system to try and modify, to try and be some kind of relief to the people who should really matter. And it's very, very sad to me because a lot of people are leaving this state. And if you ask them why, it's because they feel they're overtaxed. And if there's not a correlation between the approval of these agreements and the taxes that are being paid by people who do not have what's being negotiated here, then I don't know what is. But it's really sad to me that we're going to continue doing this pattern as if it's not going to matter to the taxpayer. I would for once like to hear somebody go up and say, you know what, we can't afford to pay it. And if we can afford to pay it, then I want to know how Secretary Barnes was able to say what he said in trying to show that this Connecticut was really struggling, didn't have the ability to pay. I just don't understand it. I don't mind negotiating agreements if you have the money, but when you don't have the money, how do you negotiate it? For those reasons, Madam Chair, I'll be opposing it.